Chad German here with Utah Electrician and Trade School. Hey, the DMs came in on how to size wire, and I've been looking up these codes to tell you guys, because I don't have everything memorized, I just know how to find it. So anyway, sizing a wire and grounding and bonding, those are the most misunderstood parts of the code. Those are things that as I go teach and I do my consulting, people don't know the difference between a grounding electrode and an equipment ground, and they're journeyman and master electricians. It's not uncommon. Sizing wire, you don't just have to go to table 3, 10, 15, find the 75-degree column, and go off your ampacity on every load. So stay tuned, and I'm going to teach you today on how to size for air conditioner. So stay tuned. It's different than the way you size for anything else, and I'll give you the codes and how to do that.
So I'm here at a job I did a few years back. I just happened to be at a service call when I decided I was going to do this video. It's just down the road, so I finished that up, stopped in here for my lunch break. Now, got up on the roof here. This nameplate says it all when sizing your circuits for this air conditioning unit. You see here, and I'm going to post the nameplate in this video so you can pause and look at it. But let me flip this around and you guys can see what I'm talking about. So you see this, there's a lot of information here. You got 3-phase, you got 208, 230. You got all the information on here, somewhat more than what you think you need or that you might need. On this application, you have a few different things that show amperage, 30 and 28 amps. That's going to have to do with your voltages. And then over here, you have minimum circuit ampacity 30 to 32 amps, maximum fuse or HVAC breaker 45 amps. And then you got your full load amps. So there's a lot of codes that go involved in that. And I'm going to go and explain that with my code book. So stay tuned.
We know we use the nameplate rating on the air conditioning unit. Also, there's a few things to know when you're sizing any wire. Number one is 110.14C, which it talks about the termination points. So every terminal that you would have to install, it talks about that in there. We'll get into that. And then table 310.16 in the 2020 code book. You will also have to know 240.4G, which puts the air conditioning unit and motors and other different types of things in a whole different category, meaning you don't size that off your overcurrent protection device, the wires. And so that will give you reference points in that table of where to go in order to size these wires. So for this wire, if you saw on the nameplate that you have the 45 amp maximum fuse, you have to use that fuse or that breaker. But the wire size was 30 amps, so you would size your wire off of 310.16, and then the question comes in, what column do I use in 310.16? That's when you would go to 110.14C. 110.14C tells you anything 100 amps or less is the 60-degree column. Anything over 100 amps is going to be the 75-degree column. Now, also in that same section, that is for an unknown. But we know that the terminal ratings on all HVAC equipment is rated for the 75-degree column. So don't get lost into 110.14C, where it tells you the 100 amps or less is 60. And that doesn't get important until you get into the 50 amp range. It starts changing the wire sizes up according to the different temperatures. So we're going to size this off of the 30-degree column, or the 75-degree column on 30 amps, which is going to give you a 10 amp on a 45 amp breaker. So it doesn't make sense to a lot of guys that just size things off of the breaker size, which, I mean, you could do, but you're over a long period of time, you could be saving money on downsizing wire. So this is one instance that you would size the wire not off the overcurrent protection, but off of the minimum ampacity that is allowed on the nameplate. And then you could have the maximum overcurrent protection device at 45 amps. That's what you have to have. Have that breaker, 45 amps, with a number 10 wire on it. And that's how you size wire for a condenser unit for air conditioning. Thanks. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, hit me up. Utah Electrician DMs. Sparky EDU DMs. There's a lot of guys on there that would help you out. And